Welcome to X Files, where we discuss social issues, recent events, and everything in between. I'm Shakira, and today I have our guest.
Matthew Chi, aka 888 Bull Boy.
How you doing today, Bull Boy?
I'm doing great about you.
I'm good, thank you. I was want to start the episode by saying congrats to Juan Carlo Esposito. He's an impeccable actor. He just recently reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah. Happy for him, and may he have a happy and grateful and blessed Dean here forward. Um, so the other day I was on X and I saw this cutest video. It was in Brazil. They're doing something called dog CPR. Like, did you see the video?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, dog CPR is super cute.
I know.
It looked like Paw Patrol. It had me actually thinking about like other things that like dogs do. I think
Mhm.
dogs might be the most like helpful to human beings, like amongst all other animals. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, like you know that they can sniff for like cancer and other diseases.
Really?
Um, yeah, they can sniff for like pests and stuff like that, and they can just generally detect like changes in people's health and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I never realized that. I mean, they do say dogs are man's best friend. Now, I don't know if that really is going to work if somebody needs CPR and they're like, "Oh, let's get this German Shepherd." They're pressed on the person's chest. I don't know how effective that really is, but it certainly was the cutest thing I ever seen.
yeah. I don't think it will actually be effective because CPR is in like the rhythm of staying alive,
Yeah,
and he wasn't doing like rapid enough compressions on the chest to actually have it be like effective.
I know.
But he was even like pausing to like check the pulse and stuff like that. That was amazing.
He was trying so hard. His little paws. He was like, he was so cute. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my god, he was so cute. I just wanted to give him a hug.
right.
But I mean, that would be funny to me if they actually made that a thing here in America. You know what I mean? Where like the local police department, they're carrying around dogs to CPR. Like, really? Like, that would be hilarious to me. I mean, I'm serious. If I ever saw that, if I'm driving and I would go to the side of the road, like, you'll have to watch this because this is hilarious.
Yeah, right.
It is the cutest little thing, man. Yeah, but it's just so much going on in the world right now. I was seeing also the other day on X where I'm not sure if the first time in American history where they're doing this or recent history maybe, but they're castrating a man in Louisiana for SA of a 7-year old. You know, that's one of those things where I'm like, in my mind, as a woman, you know what I mean? I'm thinking if they could implement this everywhere, you know what I mean? If they could implement this across this nation, then maybe they can eradicate a lot of the bad things that are happening to young women and young men this day and time. Do you foresee that becoming a thing in this country where this is like the norm for a person that's found guilty of SA?
Castrating them meaning that what he can't have children anymore.
I think in this case, they are going to remove his penis. And they're going and they're going to remove his or sever his scrotums or something or testicles or whatever they call it. So yeah.
From what I've seen about it, it said that they were gonna do um chemical and physical
Okay.
castration.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had to like look up chemical castration because I was like I don't even know what that means.
Mhm.
But I guess that that's not even something that would only be like a punishment. It seems like it's something that people might opt into doing so they can't
Mhm.
have children.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like this wasn't his first time offending. It shouldn't have really happened. I don't
Mhm.
really know a lot of the details though,
Mhm.
but I think it's crazy that, it happened. I don't know if we're gonna get to a point where this is gonna be the norm. And honestly, I don't even know how I feel about it being the norm. Like
Mhm.
I feel like in this situation, if he should have just, in my opinion, just got more time, and that would have, sorted itself out when it comes to him reproducing or something like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, um,
Mhm.
I don't know if I don't know if we need to just start taking away like that type of thing. I don't know, just a little bit indifferent about it.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
But do
but
you think I'm sorry, go ahead.
uh, there's a judge that Judge Michael C. Sani
Okay.
or Sinati.
Okay.
Cincinnati. I'm
Okay.
probably mispronouncing the last name.
Okay.
Um, but he's like well known because he actually breaks the our amendments and
Oh.
and gives people like odd out sentences. And like
Okay.
his like defense is he gives them the option. It's either you get the traditional jail time
Mhm.
or you do this. Like one person stole from a Salvation Army
Uh-huh.
so he was ordered to spend 24 hours living on the street as a homeless person.
Wow.
So one couple, he actually forced them to either do the jail time or get the fines or literally get married. And this was a whole nother like topic of people being like, is this ethical, like is this the right thing to do? um, there was a woman who pepper sprayed a Burger King employee, so he
Okay.
made her get pepper sprayed. Like he said, you could either take the jail time or you can get pepper sprayed to the face. Now he didn't actually pepper spray her. She accepted it, and then like they sprayed her with like a saline solution,
Uh-huh.
but she thought she was gonna get pepper sprayed. So it's kind of like the judge just kind of played a prank. But he's like, I want my sentences to be like relative to the crime. Like one woman just let a bunch of cats
Mhm.
free, so
Mhm.
she had to pay a lot of fines to the animal society, and then she had to spend a whole day in the woods alone.
Okay.
So like I feel like it's kind of the same situation here where like I don't know if this is like legal or part of the law to be like, okay, we're gonna like castrate you because of this.
Okay.
Not to say that I necessarily disagree with it, but it's
Uh-huh.
like, are we getting into dangerous, territory by doing that?
That is a very, very valid point. Very valid. But I'm going to offer a controversial opinion. I like this guy. I
Yeah,
like him. The reason why, because a lot of people don't understand. Here in America, we have the 50 states, 52 states, whatever. But each state is almost like its own country. Even though we have federal law, each state has that local state law. You know what I mean? So they can pretty much, according to that state constitution, do what they feel is necessary. The reason why I like him, because I think his sentences forces a person to practice empathy. You know what I'm saying? I think empathy is a flaw that mankind lacks. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know what it feels like to pepper spray somebody, then you would be less likely to pepper spray someone. You know what I mean? What else did he do? You said he made somebody get
uh,
married.
yeah. He made somebody who stole from the Salvation Army
Okay.
live on the streets as a homeless person.
Okay.
He also forced a teenager who didn't pay his
Hmm.
cab driver to choose between 30 days in jail or walking 30 miles.
Ooh. Okay.
So yeah, and it's like they always have the option of the traditional sentence, which I think does give it some type of fairness. And honestly, I think it's funny, and I think it's cool, and I think it's topical.
Hmm.
But I think the valid criticism of it is maybe it deters the individual, but it doesn't deter people from doing it. Like it deters the person from repeating their offense, maybe,
I
but
see.
it doesn't deter people from doing it, elsewhere or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So you're saying it may be have an effect on maybe the person that actually had to go through with the sentence, and maybe a couple of people who knew about it, but the overall community, it does nothing for them.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I
because
think
I feel
that's
like
true.
the debate is that it's like a scarlet letter,
Hmm.
like just a societal view or whatever. And I feel like that definitely affects the individual a lot more than
Hmm.
like maybe deterring them. Like I don't remember what this one person did, but I know he also made one person stand outside in a chicken outfit for some hours. Um, and it was literally like a movie reference. He had him hold some sign that was referencing some type of movie, and like most people probably didn't even know what that reference was. I still don't really understand it, and like the dude had on the whole mask, the bodysuit, and everything. So it's
Hmm.
like, is this really deterring somebody from doing whatever crime? Because they're also, yeah, they're in a chicken costume, but
Okay.
they're covered up fully.
Hmm.
So it's like you don't really know who's in it. Is that gonna make me not want to break a crime, do a crime because I'm gonna be a little bit embarrassed? You know?
That's true. But I think the same could be argued with maybe jail sentences, right? If a person is imposed to, let's say, 30 days in jail, it doesn't seem to have an effect on the masses, where we want people, not me, but others, don't want to commit crimes. You know what I'm saying?
30 days though, I feel like people lose their jobs, bills, everything. Like I feel like even 30 days, if you that can be pretty devastating to people's lives. Even just the 30 days, just not
Mm,
having that access to the world and not being able to
mhm.
get things done,
That's
things
very
tend to fall
true.
apart.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is very
Versus
true.
like a few hours or even this 30 miles, like that 30 miles wasn't consecutive or anything like that. Like maybe he had
Mm.
a limit of how many miles he had to walk a day or whatever. And it's like, okay, you got to get a little exercise, you know? Like I feel like if the crime matches the punishment, like I think that if she actually got pepper sprayed and it wasn't a saline solution,
Mm.
it maybe would have been more beneficial, you know? Because
Mm.
as it stands, like she accepted her punishment and maybe that's all he wanted.
Mm.
But she accepted her punishment, but she didn't actually get the punishment because for whatever reason, you
Mm.
know.
Mm. Yeah, because that might actually violate some kind of torture laws here in America.
Yeah, yeah,
I would have liked to see her get pepper sprayed. I won't lie.
yeah.
Depending on why she pepper sprayed the person. If she did pepper sprayed the person for self defense, I would say no. But it was like she was
Nah,
angry. She's like, no, she should have got pepper sprayed. That's just
yeah,
me, you know?
yeah. The video is funny. She like winces, like she prepares for it, But yeah, but no, she pepper sprayed a Burger King employee. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I really doubt it was self defense.
Yeah. Stuff is it's really crazy how quick things can happen. Like I remember when I was like 19 years old, I just got out from work. I worked overnight at this chicken factory. It's the worst chicken factory I ever worked in. But I had worked overnight in the sanitation department, and I got off from work, and I was like probably pregnant at the time. And I wanted a cup of coffee, so I go inside the gas station. He had this big sign out front of the gas station: all coffee, 99 cents a cup. So I go in and I get this cup of coffee, and I go to the register and I've got my dollar in my hand. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna give me a cup of coffee before I go home to get some sleep. So this lady, she just didn't like me. I don't know what it was. She was like, that's not, that's 189 or something, she said. I'm like, ma'am, the sign says 99 cents. You could go look for yourself, ma'am. It's right there. It's 99 cents outside. Nope. It's 189. 189. So I'm like, okay. I was irate. You hear me? My first reaction, voila, he was to take the coffee and throw it in her face. Alhamdulillah, I didn't do it. But I was like, I'm gonna throw this coffee in her face. She's gonna learn. So I just I said, okay, no, I'm 19 years old. I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't have my baby in jail. I don't need any kind of charges on me. So I stopped for a moment. I thought about it and I said, okay, I'm just going to throw this coffee on the floor. So it's like she didn't want to give me the coffee for nine. I didn't lie. It was right there, 99 cents. You want to charge me? Okay, you're going to clean up this coffee. So I was so happy that I thought about it and I said, okay, I'm not going to throw it in her face. It's my first reaction. My visceral reaction was to throw it in her face. I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to throw it on the floor so she can clean it up. But the reason I said all that is because I couldn't imagine if I had thrown it in her face and I was with this judge down there. And he's like, oh, we're going to throw a hot cup of coffee in your face.
Right. Yeah, that's terrible.
It's like they would be in the background. They would be like taking the coffee, freshly brewing the coffee. So they could come out front and throw it in my face. I couldn't imagine that.
That's wild. The judge does it personally too.
I
Even
know.
worse.
The judge is like, hey, Sue, is that coffee almost finished brewing? So, I guess what he's doing is a deterrent to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I feel like if you know the system, though, you know it's not gonna be the real thing. It's gonna be like cold coffee, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Yeah, because they'll be accused of doing like the what is the thing they did to the people in Abu Ghraib or something with they claim the terrorists in Cuba or something. They tortured people. They were waterboarding people. It's a big thing some years ago. They were taking people from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they were deeming them terrorists. And they allowed themselves. They were allowed to waterboard people and do all kinds of crazy, atrocious things to people, and it's really, really bad. So I think that's probably why they didn't pepper spray her because they would be accused of torturing her. But yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's something. So yeah, I don't know, man. I gotta read up on this judge. He sounds like he may be Italian or something.
Oh yeah, the name looks very Italian.
Italian, yeah. So he's from the old school.
Yeah. Yeah, I do really like the idea of judges having that like freedom and having a little bit of like I guess fun with it. Like
Hmm.
alternative ways to teach people a lesson, right? It doesn't have to be just jail time. Because
Hmm.
I don't think that really solved things for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Some people really deserve and need other options. I think before they're just institutionalized. You
Exactly.
know, and then like
Exactly.
it's the crime is not always fitting of that level of stripping of humanity. I think that's
Hmm.
really what it boils down to is stripping people's humanity at that point.
That's true. And I think it boils down honestly to a lot of people. Obviously, they should have been taught these things during childhood. You know what I'm saying? I think it's unfortunate, but I think the judge is trying to, in a way, mold these people, you know, to learn certain lessons that they should have learned during childhood. You know what I mean? Some people, don't raise our children properly and don't teach them the value of empathy and the value of respect for elders or authority, things like that. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
or to regulate your emotions. You know what I mean? I think it's only natural and human to get angry or get sad or be happy. but we must learn how to regulate it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the case with me, when I was a teenager, I was quite fiery. Um, I still was angry, but I regulated it. Therefore, I don't have a criminal record because I'm angry and I know how to regulate it. So I think that's the very, very important part in a lesson that we all need to learn. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. But speaking of anger, did you hear about Big Tigger getting arrested for domestic violence or DV, whatever they call it? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about that.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that the main thing I would say is like I did see that he like strongly denied it, said it's not
Okay.
true.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Did you see that too?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
I think the craziest part is that there was like that a kid was there, that one of his kids was there, and that they heard the
Mm.
situation. I think
Mm.
that that's really terrible. I think it's really hard to deny that it's true in that
Mhm.
situation because I
Mhm.
think that there's a couple witnesses.
Yeah.
And then also I think that there's not really as much incentive I think for her to lie
Yeah.
about this, just because like he's not nearly as popular as he used to be or as much of a celebrity, I don't think.
Mhm.
Where, there's a lot to gain from this.
Mhm.
And the fact that she was actually, has stitches and they said deformation or whatever, or disfigured um
Wow.
above her eyebrow or something. That is what I
Wow.
read. So I feel like it's pretty hard to argue that, And
Mhm.
he had taken her to the emergency room or something and said that
Mhm.
she fell. The
Mhm.
the same thing everyone says.
Mhm.
So it's like, but now to be like, oh, I strongly deny everything. I can't say anything because it's legal, but just know, like, it's all false. And it's like, okay, so what actually happened to her face?
Mhm.
What did the child actually hear?
Yeah.
Um, and that's where I had to look it up again because apparently they're saying that he has like a child endangerment or child abuse thing
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
was tied to it.
Yeah.
And that's just because a child was in the like premises when it
Mhm.
happened,
Yeah, that's
which I
what they
think is
said.
also a pretty crazy law. You know,
You think so?
I mean, if it protects the children, I'm all for it, right? But
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
think that it's crazy to have like you already broke this law, and now you broke a law unawareingly just because of who was in the presence of you breaking that law. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like another thing to tag on to it.
Yeah.
Like because I would imagine it would if there was more children, it would be
Per child.
more counts. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep. If it was 10
So
children, he'd be facing
yeah,
100 years.
yeah,
You know, I'm going to like kind of I guess go against the grain here. I don't really know how to feel about it. I know they released a doorbell ring camera or something or doorbell video. I haven't seen the video, but from my understanding, from based on what I read, I haven't seen the actual video, but I have read about it that they were fighting over a phone. The wife wanted to see his phone. He pulled the phone from her, kind of pulled away, but somehow she fell and hit her eye. This is what they said in the article I read. In that case, it still was negligent. He still was wrong, but was it really a clear cut case of domestic DV? You know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of I don't know how to feel about that part.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like a really gray area.
Hmm.
But I would then like I would say like like was your phone worth it? You know what I mean? Even at that point, you have to the person I feel like would have to take some accountability. Like Tigger
Mm-hmm.
would have to take some accountability
Yeah.
because like if you need to get your phone back so desperately that you end up injuring somebody to get it back, like you need to kind of have a little bit of evaluation. I think,
I completely agree.
because I mean, based on my experiences and life in general, I feel like if she took his phone and he was trying to get her phone back, he probably wanted to hide something on his phone. You
Okay.
know, and
Okay.
I think that even if he didn't intentionally hurt this person, to be like so desperate to hide this from
Mhm.
your wife, right?
Mhm.
His
Yes,
wife.
wife. For many years, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, to be so desperate to hide something from your wife for this many years to the point where you hurt her in the process of trying to hide it, like I
Mhm.
still feel like it's still all the blame on him. Maybe he didn't intentionally hurt her, maybe. But I also feel like if he didn't, why I don't really just see much motive for her to lie about it, about like the severity of it. Like if
Mhm.
it was an accident, I think she would have probably been forgiven of it, unless she just couldn't forgive whatever she maybe saw on the phone. Like, but we don't know if it
Mhm.
got to the point where she actually saw anything or if he stopped her before she did. But either way, I just don't see a lot of motive on her part to lie. But I also I don't know anything more than what I read. So,
Yeah, that's true. I think it'll all come out, hopefully during trial. But that kind of segue into let me segue into another question. Do you think that a couple should have equal access to each other's phone? Or do you think that a couple should have trust where they don't want to check the other's phone?
mm, I think that's a very, very gray area, a very slippery slope. But the way I feel about it right now is like, I think, I think that you should respect each other's privacy.
Okay.
But I think that when you're with somebody for a very long time, um, you tend to be very in tune with everything about them. Their
Mhm.
schedule, certain habits they have, and I think it's normal to pick up on when those habits are different. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
and when the patterns are different, and then you might feel like, oh, let me go look, let me go check. You know what I mean? Let me go find out. Let me just go confirm. Um, but I think at the end of the day, you should have trust in that person. I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's kind of in the middle where like you do trust that person fully,
Hmm.
and but if they give you a reason not to trust it, you don't disagree with your gut. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if your gut is saying, "Hey, something's wrong," it might be something wrong, in
Hmm.
my opinion. But
Hmm.
that doesn't mean you don't trust the person. It's just you not gonna trust them to the point where it becomes foolish, where
Hmm.
you just become like a fool, like, oh, I just trust them. And it's like, no, they're playing in your face. But I feel like at that point, you're almost denying it
Hmm.
and you're just kind of hiding it behind like trust.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that.
That's a very mature, intelligent way to look at it. I agree. But do you think it's worth fighting? You know what I mean? Do you think as a man or a woman, they're justified if they want to see that spouse's phone, that spouse like, no, and they're like, no, give it here. You know what I mean? Do you think that's how you handle it? Or do you think you're like, okay, cool. Don't let me see it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think the proper way to deal with a person who's hiding our phone and you know what I mean, is being seems to be sneaky or hiding something. Like should we be like his wife and go like you're gonna give me this phone, you know what I mean? Or should we be like, can I see your phone? And be more like, calm about it. You know what I mean? Do you think we should go
That
into fight
again,
to see in the phone or should we just be like, nah,
well,
I'm sorry.
for one, I really want to emphasize on one thing that I just forgot to say a second ago.
Uh-huh.
And this is something somebody, like, I guess, said to me a long time ago. And I
Hmm.
think as I got older and matured a little bit more, I really understood it. And that's
Hmm.
like, give people a reason not to trust you. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
don't react on your distrust without reason. You know what I mean? Like at that point,
Hmm.
you have the trust issues and you're the problem.
Got
Like
you.
some people I think just jump to the distrusting somebody, like,
Yeah.
oh, they're on their phone, they're laughing. Okay, and then they like just let that take them mentally to a place where they can't trust them or certain things that maybe is not a valid reason if they step back and looked at the whole picture. It's like, wow, they didn't really give me a reason not to trust them.
I see what you're
I'm
saying.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous to trust them. I'm scared to trust them or whatever it is, but like I haven't really gotten a reason. So I think